Our last topic this semester is graphs. First of all, what is a graph? Simply said, it is a pictorial representation of data. You see that quite often if you're reading newspapers or if you're watching news on TV or see results of surveys on social media. Usually they will be represented in a graph to summarize the data collected. How are you ever going to use this? Well, you want to understand data that's represented in graphs. This chapter is supposed to prepare you or to help you to prepare visual representations of information, to explain data, and also to determine whether the information displayed in a graph is a true representation of the data. It's quite often that data displayed can be misleading, so that at a first glance it gives you a completely different impression of what the actual data is like. Today we want to investigate different types of graphs, so we're doing chapter 501, and we want to interpret graphs, and therefore I give you an overview about the different types of graphs you will be facing in this chapter. To start with, I have a picture graph here. A picture graph needs to have a key, and which explains what the symbols stand for. So we're having a pencil here, and that symbol stands for 2 students. That means if you're having half a pencil, that would stand for 1 student. So looking at this, it's about favorite subjects of students. If we want to have a look at the yellow pencils here, that stands for 7 students, and that is the number of students who say reading is their favorite subject. Another kind of graph is the so-called bar graph. In a bar graph, you're having columns representing the number of or the amount for a certain set of data, and those columns are horizontally arranged. So in this example, you're having the number of students passed. So if you're having a look at the subject science, the column starts at 0 and goes up to 60, so that means 60 students passed that subject. You're also having column graphs. Column graphs are having columns, but this time they are arranged vertically. Column graph, and so the columns are arranged vertically. That means they start here at the bottom, that's the 0, and depending on how high they go up, in this case the orange column goes up to 5. That means there's going to be 5 students who are participating in soccer. Pie graphs are also quite common. Here you represent the number of people participating in different kinds of sports as a percentage. So you're having 11%, and that 11% for gymnastics are represented by that yellow sector of the circle here. Two other very common kind of graphs is a line graph, or our line graphs, and step graphs. So in those two, we are having lines. Let's focus on the line graph first. The line graph has 2 axes. That's an axis, that's an axis, and you need to label those, and or they need to be labeled to let you know which information is given. So on this vertical axis, it's going to be the mobile phone sales in millions, and on the horizontal axis, it's about the years. And then you can see that there's an increase in mobile phones, a slightly decrease, and then a very strong increase from 2012 onwards to over 5 million mobile phones. Those examples here are just brief examples, so we would need more information to be able to interpret them properly. Yeah, so they just work as first examples to get an idea about the different kind of graphs. A step graph has lines, and it kind of covers different sections of the same theme. So we're having an athletics event here, and it's about the different starting times. So you're having a starting time from 8 a.m. to 9. And then at 9, so actually the 9 would not be included in that because this event goes from here to here. So then from 9 a.m. you're having a different event, right? This would not be included. And then at this time, at 10 a.m., the next event is starting. So it's going up like a step, right? So that's why it's called step graph. You always have the horizontal lines, not the vertical lines, but yeah, they are arranged as a step. So what are you supposed to do with these now? You are to work on exercise 501, do the odd questions 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, so 6 questions. Please let me know if you need help. I'm there for you. Okay?